Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Hospitality Arts, 10th grade, where I'll be teaching CTE, HTR, Hospitality, Tourism, and Recreation, and we'll be teaching Chapter 3, um, and it will be sectioned off into B3.0, B3.1 through 3.3 through the California ELD standards. As the students come in, I'll actually do a Pear Deck slideshow to where I want to see about a stress check, just to see how the students are doing as they come into the classroom and check their mindset for them. After doing so, we go ahead and we start off the lesson just by a gist review of what we learned in the last chapter, in Chapter 2. We demonstrated the basics of safe work habits, security, and emergency procedures required by food service and hospitality establishments. And as you can see, there are 4 criteria there. Then we get into Chapter 3, the basic principles of sanitation and safe food handling. I go ahead and start off with employing the standards of personal grooming and hygiene required by local, state, and federal health and safety codes. And I break them down by screen. I start off with the 10 principles of safe food handling and hygiene. There is a link for them to look at to go ahead and kind of get a mental picture of that lovely 10-piece pie. And then I go ahead and I introduce them to the California Serve Safe, kind of a checklist of before work. There are some health code standards and safety standards, which we have to follow by law. So I get them into an introduction with that. And then also as well, we do the Food Drug Administration Food Code of 2022. There's a little quote there that I utilize. And then, of course, there is a link up on the top left to go ahead and get them down with the full regulations of that lovely chapter there. And then we also have a personal hygiene policy. Does your workplace have these questions to ask? And does the student ask themselves this as they enter into the workforce? After that, it's kind of like I want to do a temperature check with the students. I go ahead with my Pear Deck and I go ahead and see how they're doing and if they're understanding everything. And then I go ahead and I get them introduced into the activity of washing their hands. I introduce them to the types of food poisoning listed by California Serve Safe standards. It is listed on a link right there. I also have the procedures of washing hands and also the understanding of cross contamination avoidance. I get them introduced to that, as well as a reason why you wash your hands by the Central Disease Control, the CDC, and what their policy is as well. I review them again about the 20-second standard of washing their hands by ServSafe standards. And then I show them a quick video of how I introduced washing hands with the Happy Birthday song. And there is a YouTube link right there. And then lastly, I give a couple of instructions about the coronavirus prevention. And there is a little key right there, a link right there for the students to see. And then I go ahead and I get the students paired together in groups of 2. One has a timer. They go to a sink with antibacterial soap. One actually has to wash their hands while singing the Happy Birthday song twice, while the other one is timing them in doing so. Afterwards, I go ahead and I introduce them to a vocabulary list, 14 words. I have right here basically the breakdown of how the listing is, as well as a picture association with the words. And then lastly, I have them go ahead and have the link for the worksheet and have the assignment due on